Kwekwe and Mildozy Kakazomo Seaweed Kill. Hello, I give love to everything and everyone. I need to talk about inclusion, including, and what you don't want to include. So I was taught that we were inclusive people, that we were loving people, that anyone of good heart was welcome to be with us. And we welcomed people into our groups, our bands, our tribes. We welcomed them. We welcomed anyone who was good of heart. We did not exclude people. We did exclude wicked ways. Things were unhealthy, ungood. But people who are good of heart, and most people are good, were welcomed. We welcomed with open arms. When we adopted a child, that child was our child. We did not call them adopted. When we brought you into our family, you were family. And exclusion seems to be today's word. That's what everyone does. They exclude. You're not welcome in this. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome there. You're not part of us. And who among you does not feel excluded? Because really I'm talking to people who are untribed. I'm talking to people who are not part of a government-sanctioned, government-recognized, regulated tribe. Those who are under the power of the government and need money from the invading government, they're exclusive and they're kicking people out. And they come up with this garbage quantum, who's worthy and who's not. That's not for me. That's not for you. If that's what they want, let them have that. Stay away from that. Exclusiveness was not part of our ways. We're inclusive. We welcomed everyone who loved us. That's what I was taught. You need to start your own groups. Don't try to join some other group. Don't try to become part of a regulated, controlled tribe. Why would you want to subjugate yourself to the dominant culture's governments? And they hold strings. They hold your money. They hold power over you. You want to be outside that whole thing. You want to be parallel to it as we were before we got absorbed. We were inclusive. We loved everyone. We welcomed you. We welcomed you and we loved everyone who was good of heart. This is what I was taught. And this is what I understand to be true native ways. And to this day, you go to any other native group, you're welcomed with love. So you need to form your own group. You need to tribe together. You need to band up. You need to make your own circles of prayer and make your own bands and make your own councils. You don't need anyone else's permission. If you're waiting for permission, then you're under someone else's control. You're looking to somebody else for authority. And that is not natural. That's not nature. We are self-guided. We didn't have hierarchy. Nobody's head is above anybody else's. You should include people. You should include love. You should begin to band together yourselves. Don't try to join other groups. You make your own group. You band together. You need to become your own band, your own groups. Don't look for other people's permission. Okay? Loving inclusion, bringing together everyone. Come together. Of course, there are things you want to exclude. You want to exclude certain things because you want to be clean. You wouldn't want to include poison in your food. You wouldn't want to include toxins in your water. You wouldn't want to include toxins in your air. You don't want to include toxins into your mind or your heart. So, what do you exclude? And what do you include? This is going to be things that you have to think about and work with one another. And there are things you may have to gradually throw out of your life and exclude from yourself. As I have done for so many years. I boycotted Coca-Cola when I was in high school in the 80s. I stopped using Coca-Cola or Coke products because I realized that they were killing natives in South America and they were murdering indigenous leaders and unionizers that were trying to protect the people. And they do. They murder people around the world. So I boycotted them a long time ago. Other things that I would not have in a healing circle, I would not have in my group, are company logos. Take the Nike swastika, because that Nike swoosh is a swastika. Nike takes advantage of people. It oppresses people. It underpays them. It uses slavery, slave wages. It manipulates governments to cause lower wages and force people into work for them. It poisons the environment with its products and its dyes and its fabrics, which are toxic. All the modern fabrics that are not natural, those break down into micro pieces that are spreading all over the planet. It's all over the planet now, these microplastics coming off of these artificial fabrics. So I would exclude these toxic things from my circle, from my life. In fact, I wear handmade clothes that I hand wash. So what other things would you exclude? I would exclude anyone that markets baby flesh. Anybody involved with baby flesh, buying it, selling it, that's fetal tissue. That's a market. That's money. Buying and selling fetal tissue or injecting it into your body or eating things that were made using fetal tissue as developmental tools, like some of these artificial flesh. I would exclude that out of my life entirely. I don't want anything to do with people that are buying and selling baby flesh or human flesh or slavery. So it is loving to exclude some things. It is loving yourself and loving each other and loving children to exclude things. So I'm not saying you should include everything. You should actually be rather picky about what you include. But inclusiveness is a way that we followed. We loved, we welcomed people into our groups. And you can look through history. I found this when I was younger. My grandmother told me this and I thought, what? And then I looked it up. When we were first invaded, anyone from the dominant culture that went to live with natives because they got separated from their group and ended up in a native group, or they were captured, or for any other reasons these people ended up living with natives, they never wanted to leave. No one ever wanted to leave a native village or a native indigenous ways. Once they left the dominant culture, women and children especially never wanted to leave. And this became a problem for the dominant culture. Because every time they recovered someone from a village, they would run away and go back to live with the natives again. Especially women, because women were property of men. In that culture, women are the property of men. It is patriarchal. And it's written in their Bible that women are property and children are property. And when these people came to us and saw how we lived, how humans lived, they did not want to leave. And women that got recaptured and brought back to the dominant culture, to their towns, if they had children, they would often send those children to live with the native people if they could not get away themselves. They would send their children away because it was a better life. Nobody ever wanted to leave our ways. It became a problem for the dominant culture. And you can look this up historically because they started coming up with medical reasons of psychology why people wouldn't want to leave. And I read about one of them was moccasins. They said, oh, they wear comfortable shoes. They wear moccasins. And our shoes are not comfortable. They hurt our feet. And there's a reason for that too. Why their shoes and their things are uncomfortable. We'll get into the origins of that in another story. But nobody ever wanted to leave a native culture. And they came up with all kinds of psychological reasons of why. They thought it was madness. Nobody wanted to leave. Everyone wants to be native. They just don't know it because they haven't seen it and they don't understand what it's like. And nobody really today around here knows because of the overwhelming dominant culture that's destroyed everything. And we need to decolonize. So you need to start forming your own groups. Don't try to get included into someone's group that doesn't want you or doesn't have room for you. And natives that are saying stay out and stay away, they got their reasons. But that's not inclusive. And that is not what I was taught natives were about. Loving, inclusiveness, bringing people together, coming together. It's the only way we're going to move forward. If we can't bring people in and help them to heal and grow, and to be healthy human beings and to get out of this toxic culture and the toxic things that they do and the toxic ways and the toxic thinking that they have, there'll be no healing. There'll be no health. There'll be no recovery. So we have to include those who love, those who want to rock the right way, those who want to do the right thing. But inclusion does not mean accepting wrong things, wicked things, unhealthy things. You can exclude those. But we do have to be inclusive. Or there's no hope. There is no hope for humanity. We're not going to throw everybody out. It's not our way. To recover, we must include. Include love. Include goodness into your life. Be inclusive, but use your discretion. Cook is all more. Thank you. Adios.